the current Kurama, as well as the current Three Tails, as well as any other tailed beast that's died and reincarnated, can't have genetics because that's not the body Hagoromo created. That's that chakra energy dissipated and reformed into another body somewhere else. It's a new body, completely original.
In that case, so two things with that. First, we don't know if Kurama ever died before to say he ever reincarnated. So Kurama could have always been the original body and never died like the Three Tails.
I'm saying the new
That's
one.
the first thing.
Oh,
yeah,
shit,
so it's not about when, it's about the fact that there is a new one.
Okay, but in that case, so Himawari could have the genetics if hypothetically, because if that Kurama
that's fine. That's not
the
discussion right now. It's just about the new Kurama.
Okay. So that's the first thing. The second thing is if
had to get that out there.
while he may not have a body, all of those genes hypothetically could just be contained in his chakra that is his body. And so in that case, it's almost like they never really died. It's just kind of like, this sounds goofy, when Orochimaru was split in half against Four Tails Naruto, think of that Kurama's chakra dispersing. Orochimaru's body splits in half. All it did was come back together. So you could say Kurama or the Three Tails never actually died. It was just separated and needed to be reconstituted.
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
That. So this gets into the next thing, which is something a lot of people have brought up. But I've thought about this too. The fact that when the Three Tails died, it reformed in its adult self. So I do think it is, in essence, a similar, if not like the same exact body. But Kurama was essentially reincarnated, a new baby, a new being. In essence, a different body.
So the problem with that, though, is we only saw the Three Tails after the fact. We don't know, because, when Rin dies to Shippuden, 16 years or something, for all we know, the Three Tails started to be reborn 10 years in, and it was just tiny, and then the next 6 years, it grew to full size.
But Kamui?
We never saw...
How long has it been since Hagoromo's time? At least 1,000 years, probably 1,000 years, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so over the course of that time, they've grown into their adult giant-sized bodies. Unless
but the problem is
growing.
The problem with that is for all we know, Isobu grew to adult size in 6 years and just stayed adult size for the next 1,000. We don't know that it's necessarily been a progressive, slow growth.
So why would it stop growing?
Because the same reason anyone else stops growing.
No, I mean, why would it stop aging?
Because they're immortal.
That's not how that works.
Well, they are. I won't tell you.
No. That's nonsense.
It seems like guys are stuck at an impasse.
They are immortal. Like, they just grew into their adult form and stayed there, as far as we know. We don't know if they're... The problem is we don't have information either way. It could be they grew into adult forms and just stayed there. They grew into their prime and stayed in their prime. Or it could be that they're slowly aging at a ridiculously slow rate, but they're implied to just be immortal. So I don't know that they are continuing to age. No, they could be immortal, but always look older. That's a form of immortality that can exist. But we don't know. That's never discussed.
So how long did Hagoromo have the Nine Tails around before he died? In the anime,
we
it was
don't
a couple
know.
decades.
He was still...
And Kurama was still a
little
baby when he died.
He's still tiny.
Yeah, after a couple decades. And so it's only been 3 years since Baryon mode.
Yeah, but I wouldn't use the anime because the anime contradicts itself within the anime filler arc. Like, it contradicts the manga. So I don't think that's a good way to look at it. In the manga, Hagoromo didn't do this until right before he died. He basically just poofed them as the little, not the orbs, but like just the actual puppies, That's just how they were born.
It took 16 years for Isobu to grow into its fully adult-sized body. Well,
we don't know if it took 16 years. It could have taken 5.
Well,
we
no,
just saw them
you want it. No, you would want
16 years later.
Longer amount of time because it's been a full 3 years for Kurama and he's still a baby. So why isn't it not at least a little older?
We can't compare to Isobu because there's a 16-year gap that we just met, and we don't know how it worked. We don't know if 3 years in, Isobu popped out as a baby and then grew for the next 13. We don't know. We don't know what happened. That's my point. We can't compare. All we see is Deidara and Toby go to capture him 16 years later when they decide to do so.
The other thing that it's not directly stated, but I think it's at least to some degree implied, is before the establishment of the shinobi system, there just were no Jinchurikis, and I think it was more likely for the tailed beasts just to be killed over that 1,000 years, more than just when they were Jinchuriki, when we know they weren't killed.
That's honestly tough because it depends on whether you think like Hashirama level people were just popping up, like,
Well, Madara
or
says
even
there
like
was
the
8
third
gates
Raikage.
people all around his era. We don't know how
Huh?
strong they were, but there were people with the 8 gates just all over the place in Madara's era.
Madara's style is freaking weird because he knew about the 8th gates, but he never says that he saw someone use the 8th
In the
gates,
video
but
games,
he
he
just
says
knew
that
what
he's
they
seen it all
were.
the time in the Warring States era.
I'm not using the video games
Why?
because that's not the Naruto manga.
Do you think
That's
that
like
line
after,
is
I don't know.
filler?
It's just like
I'd say that line's canon. Doesn't
it
contradict
is
anything.
filler though. Like
And it
it's
makes sense
not
because
part of the
Madara knows about it
Naruto.
anyways. Not only is it not contradicted, but it literally makes sense because Madara
Well,
knows about it anyways.
also though, okay, but regardless,
Clearly
that
seems
doesn't
similar.
inherently mean much because Might Dai had the 8th gate and he couldn't even kill all the 7 ninja swordsmen. I don't like is that Kurama level? Probably not. So it depends on how strong
say
these people
probably
with the 8th
not,
gates
yeah.
are.
Yeah,
But
So,
Madara
like-
definitely saw people with the 8 gates before because he was even talking to Guy before he reached the 8th gate. Oh, I'm not gonna take you seriously until you do the 8th gate. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah, but he could just understand how it works. But regardless, I think it's fair if he's seen it. But the thing is, how strong are these people? Were these people with the 8th gate freaking getting destroyed by EMS Madara? If so, they're probably not, Biju level, even with their 8th gate.
This sounds goofy, but I don't think Might Dai was strong in base. Like, I think he was just
He wasn't,
actually
no.
getting level. Like, fodder tuning in the village were stronger than him in his base, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
but like again, I mean, but we don't know the people who had the 8th gate. We don't know if they were all Might Dai level.
But Might Dai isn't high level.
Yeah, but most high level ninja don't have the 8th gate.
Okay.
Only like a couple of people do.
Because it clearly takes a lot of
Guy is
intense
the only high level
training
ninja
to
with
unlock
the
the
8th
8th gate.
gate.
Like someone like Lee from part 1 and part 2 didn't even have the 8th gate, so clearly they had to be to some degree high enough of a level to unlock it. So I'm gonna say Might Dai is around.
Then Might Dai would have to
the
apply to
minimum
that
amount of
too.
strength. Yeah. So Might Dai
You
wasn't strong.
can't. If that's the case, Might Dai is on that level. So
Okay.
it's either Might Dai is stronger than you think, or people can master the 8th gate weaker than you think.
No, I'm saying there's a minimal level. I'm pinpointing Might Dai in both directions to where he should be, to where the 8th gate should be, to be able to unlock it.
I mean, for all we know, it's really just you need to have an aptitude for it. Like it's almost just like you're just if, for example, you can just be naturally good at something. You might see me like Might Dai could just be naturally good at this one thing, and he sucks at everything else.
That's fair. That said,
We
if
don't,
a swarm of people using the 8 gates teamed up against, regardless of Kurama, any of the other tailed beasts, they could probably take them out, especially like if they're sleeping or something.
Do you really think it's realistic that a swarm of people use the 8 inner gates to assassinate a Biju? That
Over
sounds
the course
pretty
of thousands
absurd.
of years?
Bro, like 3 people had it over like 1,000 years. You really think swarms of people were doing it?
Bro, you're just excluding the Madara video game dialogue. I refuse to allow you to do that.
Madara didn't say he spots swarms of people.
You don't know what he said.
Like,
Exactly. I don't want to hear it.
no, whatever Daigo said, he said.
You don't even trust me anymore.
what?
Yeah, Daigo,
I mean, I don't remember this line in the video games, to be honest.